Her voice may have soundtracked your memories, whether it be with her band Stars or as a member of Broken Social Scene, or perhaps you dove into her 2 beautiful solo albums. And lucky you, another one is on the way, and she's opening up for Mae Martin tomorrow night at the Danforth. Amy Millan is here.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
Welcome back to Indie88.
New chapter.
I know, it's amazing because has it been 16 years since your last solo record?
Yes,
so
exactly.
It's not that you are not doing many, many things.
It's true. So I had Stars and I had Social Scene and I had my solo career.
Yeah.
And then I had a child, and that I just was like, okay, I think I'm going to shut one of these things down. And so it just seemed to make the most sense to do that one. And now she is turning 14 in a couple of weeks. So that record got made in the time where she can make her own sandwich.
Which is good to talk about, though, as well. Like, the balance is real, or the attempt at balance.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think I had actually crazy anxiety about playing solo. I had a panic attack once on stage in Montreal, at Pop Montreal. It was one of the last times I played. It was kind of debilitating. And then I got a review of the show, and the guy was like, I've never seen Amy Millan more relaxed. And so I was like, oh man, that's called pro. But I did have so I had to work out some of that stuff, which I'm hoping is in the past. Mm-hmm. And so tomorrow, the show being the first time I'm hitting the stage solo with Christine Bougie, who plays with Bahamas and is amazing and
so incredible.
Yeah, I know. She's like GOAT is what I call her. I just had a rehearsal with her, and it just makes me feel immediate. My nervous system just goes at ease.
Also, one of the greatest guitar players out there.
No, a GOAT.
Seriously,
that is the only thing I can term, because there's actually a bluegrass term called the hoss, which means the head horse so you're the best at your job, and she just is the best at what she does. She's incredible. She just basically sounds like she's playing 4 instruments. Mm-hmm. She's playing bass, 2 guitars, and maybe a little piano in there. I don't know how she does it. So I'm just well, I'll just put this down and sing. So anyway, I'm very excited to play with her again. She was in my band originally years ago and on my record, so it's just nice to reunite with her.
I love this. So it's kind of full circle moments in some ways, I guess, or?
Yeah, there's many full circles about just coming back to myself and my sound, but then also having met this person that I collaborated with, Jay McCarrol, who I met with you at Dream Serenade.
It's so strange because I was reading the bio and all the press, and you talked about going on stage with Jay McCarrol, and I was like, I was there. I remember bumping into you after your sound check, and you saying, there's some kind of magic here. There's some kind of... So can you explain, for those who are unfamiliar, Dream Serenade is a beautiful benefit. But can you kind of bring us back to that moment?
I can, because I remember it like it was yesterday. And so what had happened is Hayden has the beautiful record that he put out where he does a duet with Feist. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder if he'll ask me to sing with him, because Feist isn't here. And I do sing some of Feist parts in Broken Social Scene. So lo and behold, I get a text from Hayden asking if I would play the song the night before the show. And I said, do you think I've just not been sitting here waiting for you to ask me? So he was like, oh, my band is going to be super excited. You're going to sing with the bass player, Jay McCarrol, because he does the backups. And anyway, what I found out later was that Jay was like, that was my idea. I told Hayden to ask you because I didn't remember this, but Jay and I had played with Jason Collette at Field Trip. He was in Jay Collette's band, and I came in and sang Hangover Days as another duet. And Jay, I guess, was taken with the singing, as he mentioned that night. And when we sang together, there was just it's fun to meet that, and it doesn't always happen where you have immediate chemistry vocally. And so it was kind of alarming because it had been, I've obviously collaborated with incredible people, and Torque being one of them in my band who I love singing with, but it was just a new kind of intimacy of vocally. And so I just was kind of curious about what to do with that. And then the next day I was still thinking about it, and Emily Haynes called me, and she's like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. I sang with this guy. And she said, Amy, that's the person you've been waiting to make your next solo record with. So she completely hit the nail on the head and was psychic as usual with my life. And then I texted him, and we were off.
So did you, at that point, of course, you're a very creative person. Are you always writing songs? Did you have some kind of in your back pocket waiting for this moment, or did you start fresh?
Well, this is the funny thing is people kept saying, you need to make a solo record. And my guitar would be across the room, my acoustic guitar, and it would be looking at me like, come on, let's play. And I was like, I don't know, it's not you, it's me, but I just don't have the feeling anymore. I'm not in love with you anymore. So I'd pick up the guitar, but it just wasn't happening for me. And I had this one demo that was in a hard drive dumpster of stars that I had written. Basically, me and Evan had written it, and I only had a verse, and I've always loved it, and it was a couple of years old, and I said, why don't we do this? I'll just send you this verse, and it needs a chorus and obviously a second verse, and just send me back what you hear. And so that's how we began, and that's the next single that's coming out called Make Way for Waves. And a couple weeks later, he was busy making his film, which is coming out this year, and he sent it back, and this, like, I fell out of my chair with this beautiful chorus that he came up, and he was singing this kind of like, gibberish, which I was very thankful for because I didn't really want man words. I had a lot to say, but I just didn't have the wherewithal to do it with my guitar. And I was, as I said, like completely blown away. And then Jay said, well, I have like 20 years of music in this on my computer that I just haven't been doing anything with because I've been doing other things. Can I, I can just send it to you. And so he had these incredible demos of music and gibberish singing. And so I took so much of that, and that's the rest of the record is his, like, starts with him, and then I sing over it and wrote the lyrics and stuff.
Now, you said that this was, and thank you, an album full of gentle songs for difficult times. You wanted to help kind of calm our nervous system.
Yes, I think that everything seems quite loud, and when he asked me what kind of record I wanted to make, I said quiet songs for a loud world. And it kind of moved to gentle songs for a tense world. And there's something for me that's important for my nervous system that, like, music does that for me, that I need to calm. Like, some people like scream rock, and that's how they get out their energy and their punk rock. And I still feel punk rock inside of me, but I still need it to soothe me because everything outside is so loud. And interestingly, I wrote most of all of the music between the hours of 11 o'clock at night and 4 o'clock in the morning when the world is quiet. And it's partly why I love winter. I'm sure you realized the other day when you had that huge dump of snow here in Toronto, how quiet the city becomes, and I'm in love with that. I'm a winter baby. So I love things that calm us down.
And we need that right now more than ever, my friend.
Yeah, I hope so. I think, and like, Jay is incredibly melodic. He wrote the soundtrack. He did the soundtrack for Blackberry. He's doing a soundtrack right now. He's kind of a soundtrack guy. So I find his stuff is so cinematic as well that it was just so much fun to be able to play vocally in places I haven't gone before with my voice. And I just also, like, I really had journals and journals and journals of things that I needed to say about just a woman growing in the world right now and all the things that come with that. And, I've been married for 20 years and I have, a family, and it's an odd thing to kind of watch your youth like fall away a little bit. And it's great because there's so much more that is to come, which is, Jay is a perfect example of that. Like, it was the final Stars show. We were taking a hiatus for the year, and I was like, oh, this will be the perfect show to do because we usually do our Christmas shows, so we can never do Dream Serenade. And I was like, finally, we'll get to do Dream Serenade. It'll be the final show in the books. We'll put Stars to bed for a little while. And I was like, bye, Stars, and turned around and was like, hello, Jay. And so it's just this beautiful magic that I feel so lucky that has come to me.
I wanted to ask you about tone, because I feel like now that I know some of the music kind of compositions came from Jay as well, but are there any tricks or tones you lean into in the studio to bring that sense of calm? Because I know it's not always tempo.
Well, Jay was a virtuoso piano player. Like, he was one of those kids that was 5 years old and sat down and, like, could play The Young and the Restless thing that his grandmother was watching. So he just has this ability to, like, move around on the piano to make it actually sound like water, and water, as we know, is a very soothing thing to have. And I just found that is the way he moves with the music. And then Evan Cranley, who also plays in Stars, I had Jace Lassick, who was going to produce, an engineer. Jay McCarrol ended up producing it, but I was missing an element. And Evan Cranley plays like a million things, and he plays in both of my other bands. And so I just said, and he's my husband, we do a lot together already, but I knew he was the secret missing component. And I turned to him in the kitchen and I said, you have to come with me to the recording studio. And I said, don't be weird. I said, I know we do a lot, but please know that this is going to be fun for all of us. And you are just going to complete this record in a way that it needs. And so along with Jay's beautiful melodies, Evan would just have this idea. He brought this baritone guitar where right away it just brought this like beautiful warm tone. And he just would pull out these ideas to make things. He put a pedal on you played Cyndi Lauper earlier this afternoon, and he put this chorus pedal, and it just made it sound exactly like a Time After Time. You know what I mean? It just brought this warmth to the thing. So it was just this. I called them the diamonds. These guys. We just, as a team, the four of us, we just were able to have this alchemy with making it not anything about anything but the song. And so the song became the most important thing in the room. And I think I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of everybody who worked on it. Jesse Zubat also beautiful strings. Peter Cadis does the mixes, like beautiful mixes. And I'm so happy that this is the way I get to come back into the world as an Amy Millan record. And I said to Jay when we first started, I said, do you want to call this something different? Because it really is like a collaboration of the two of us. And he's like, no, I just, I want to like work with other people and see what happens. I'm like, well, you're not allowed anymore. So that's sorry. No, he can't. I'm just kidding. But he just said, no, you have 2 records before. So it's great. So it's just, I'm just so pleased. And I feel so taken care of by this music.
I wanted to ask about, because I've only seen the track listing and heard Wire Walks, which is beautiful. But I went to find you, knowing a little bit of context. Were you looking for yourself? Or who are you?
It's funny. There's definitely an aspect of that, but it really is an ode to my dad.
Oh, okay.
Because my dad was the person that I first started to sing with. He played guitar, and we would sing every night before going to bed. And he was killed in a car accident when I was almost 5. And so I think like when I met Jay and started singing with him, like all this stuff sort of came up and I was like, oh, right. Like this is the feeling that I had and what I've made my whole life an arrow to do, which is why I have so many incredible collaborations and like Dan Whiteley singing bluegrass music. Like I was so drawn to bluegrass and that kind of singing together. As I've made my life an arrow to get back to that feeling with my dad. So it's really about, I went to find him, but then all the people that I found because of that along the way. Like I found Kevin Drew and I found Torquil Campbell and I found Emily Haynes and I found Jay McCarrol. I just have been so lucky that music has brought me this community.
Well, we are happy that we have found you, and we cannot wait to hear the new record coming up May 30th, which will be here in no time.
Yes.
And
hopefully I will be here too at around then to like come see you again.
Yes, I was like, please, we will be talking about your shows as soon as we know more. I'm assuming there will be a tour to follow.
There will be. There'll be lots to report.
Excellent. Well, we'll see you tomorrow opening up for Mae Martin. And Amy Millan, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks. I love you, Lana.
I love you much. I'm so excited for the new record. So excited.